Channel 4, Kansas City's 24-hour news channel.
Reality just started coming to me. What I had done and what I had been doing in the future that I was making for my little brother, little sister, you know, young people in my family was just a pathway to self-destruction, really.
That young man has just returned from a national gang summit in Minneapolis. Good evening, everyone. I'm Larry Blunt. Thanks for joining us. Our top story this evening, an exclusive look at how former gang members and kids still in gangs are trying to lay their differences aside in Kansas City. Young black men and young Latinos traded ideas this week. It's their first meeting since May's gang summit here in Kansas City. News Channel 4's Terry Schaefer reports these young people want to make peace, help each other get an education, and find good jobs.
19-year-old Andre Thurman carries a briefcase to work. He calls customers, parents mostly. They want his expertise as a former gang member.
I want to do something positive now because, you know, all the things that I've done in the past to destroy my people and destroy my community and hurt families. And
recently, a mother called him because she couldn't get her teenage son out of a drug house.
I called the guy whose brother was running the drug house, and I told him, I said, well, the lady had called us, and she said she didn't want to get the police involved, so, but she will if y'all don't send him home. So he told me, well, he gonna have to go then. So he sent him home.
Andre got his job as the outreach coordinator for Project Rebound in St. Mark's Church in Kansas City after the Peace and Justice Summit in Kansas City. He had promised to renounce gangbanging after he narrowly missed being killed, and now he wants to help other young people help themselves.
A corporation full of Crips, Bloods, Maltitos, Latino gangs, you know, Latin Kings, Latin Counts, and it doesn't mean just necessarily gangs, but youth, period. Youth at risk, youth that need economical help right now. First have to go through a job assessment, then go through a job training and finish their education.
This week, Andre and other African Americans met with young Hispanic Kansas Cityans to talk about this corporation and a summit for Kansas City kids. Some of these young people are gang members, some are not. None of them want to be identified.
None of us have money, you know. We're all starting from scratch, you know what I'm saying? And we need help to get the knowledge we need. If it's bringing somebody in to teach us what we need to learn, then we'll do it. But we'll get something going here, definitely, man. What is the solution? A great amount of youth coming together and grabbing this one that you seem not to be able to get control of and saying, come on, man, grab me by the hand, because most of the time he or she is a follower anyway. Kid sees a blood, a Crip, and, you know, a Mexican and a white guy together, they'll be like, hey, you know, things are changing.
Andre told the young people with whom he met that no matter what corner of Kansas City they're from or what gang, they have to unite and have a strong base, because if they don't, they'll fail. And he says no one wants that, because people are waiting and watching to see if they make it. Terry Schaefer, News Channel 4.
Now, the young people that Terry talked to say if you're interested in helping, the kids are looking for some funding, maybe some office space and more business guidance. Adults at Project Neighborhood are already providing some guidance, and they can put you in touch with the young people. I don't know about you, but I know I was disgusted when I woke up and saw rain, but boy, were we lucky. Could have been much worse. The same storm system dumped 3 to 6 inches on the Manhattan area. In Ogden, near Manhattan, Kansas, they shut down the water treatment plant because of problems caused by flooding.
All water and sewer will be turned off.
Firefighters drove through neighborhoods telling people about the lack of water. 600 to 1,000 people in Riley County have had to leave their homes because of flooding, including everyone in this trailer park that's under several feet of water tonight. Well, many area families are still out of their homes, including families from the Wolcott neighborhood in Kansas City, Kansas, and the A1 trailer park there. Tonight we bring you the story of one family who's fighting back. News Channel 4's Dan Munson shows us the strength of the human spirit.
Just retired. I'm 64 years old. What am I going to do? You tell me.
So you just feel lost?
I'm worse than lost. What are you going to do? I can't start over. Story, Chad.
That was Robert Utterback last week after seeing the devastation of the flooding at A1 Mobile Home Park. Oh, what a difference a few days and a few surprises can make.
Your chainsaw. How much was that? I didn't put it.
Robert and his wife Maxine still have to deal with the loss of their home and precious belongings. That's lessened a bit because they do have flood insurance. But Robert says that's not why he doesn't feel so desperate now. After seeing the Utterback's plight on the news last week, a woman and her husband decided that they just had to help.
And she ran up and put her arms around my neck and said that she wanted to help me. Her and her husband wanted to help me. So I told her, I said, well, ma'am, there's people worse off than I am, you know, and I tried to explain to her that I had insurance, and she said, well, we can't help everybody, and we seen you on the news, and we couldn't sleep last night. We decided that we're going to help one person in the flood, you know, as best we can, and we're going to help you.
But the generosity didn't stop with just the money. The next day, the woman came back with this sack filled with a set of dishes and toiletry items. And it was these simple acts of kindness that gave Robert a new hope.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do now. I didn't, but I do now.
The insurance company totaled the Utterback's home and most of its contents. But Robert and Maxine know those are the things that can be replaced. It's the human spirit that they now hold dear. Dan Munson, News Channel 4.
There are some really good people out there. The family that helped Robert and his wife say that they really don't want any publicity about what they did. Their reward is knowing that in some small way, they've done some good. Well, the problems caused by flooding in St. Joseph stink, literally. The river level is so high there, they've had to shut off their sewage plant to keep it from flooding. That means 20 million gallons of raw sewage have been pumped into the river every day for the last week. And it doesn't look like that'll change very soon.
With the rains we've had last night and day before yesterday and all the rain they've had north of us, which affects the Missouri River, it just doesn't look like we're going to get back online for 3 or 4 days now. And that is if we don't have any more rain. If we have any additional rain, then we're just going to have to stay shut down.
The Missouri Department of Natural Resources says the raw sewage doesn't really affect floodwaters. In fact, the river is so dirty right now that the extra sewage really won't even make any difference. They're sandbagging the road next to St. Joseph's Airport. Floodwaters threaten to cover the road there. Senator Kit Bond flew into the airport today to tour flooded northwest Missouri towns. He met with flood victims, relief workers, and city leaders at the airport, and then he headed out to Mound City and Pattonsburg. In Des Moines, they've lived without running water now for a week. They hoped that the city would begin turning the water back on today, but no such luck. A pump at the water plant would not work. Now they won't have any running water until at least next Sunday, and they won't have drinking water from the tap for 3 weeks.
How old are you, Richard? About 3.
People who live in the outer neighborhoods of St. Louis are scrambling tonight to fill sandbags and protect their homes from potential disaster. While the downtown area does appear to be safe, that's not the case in the outer areas. The people here hope the sandbags will hold. If not, they've been told they'll have only a few seconds to run to safety or be washed away in the floodwaters. And many of you showed just how generous you are this weekend by giving to our Caring for Flood Victims drive. Volunteers from the Red Cross, News Channel 4, and several radio stations took donations at several malls and right in front of our station today. The grand total, about $10,000 in donations. All the money goes to the Red Cross Disaster Fund. Thank you for giving. The Chiefs put on the pads at training camp today. Frank Bowles live in Wisconsin for tonight's Kansas City Sports Machine. He shows us the first hits of the season at 10:25. Workers in one area city pride themselves on putting out a cheaper, better product than foreign labor. Their story at 16 after. And up next, a man who disappeared with a Leawood college student is in jail. Now the question is, when can police talk to him? A man wanted for questioning about the disappearance of a Leawood woman won't fight efforts to bring him back to Kansas. Donald Gideon was in court in Florida today on charges that he violated his parole. He's wanted for questioning in the disappearance of Stephanie Schmidt of Leawood. Gideon was featured on America's Most Wanted Friday night and turned himself in the next morning. Gideon, a convicted rapist, was seen leaving a Pittsburgh, Kansas bar with Stephanie Schmidt July 1st. Stephanie has not been seen since. Minister against minister. Church against church. That's the way it appeared when Topeka minister Fred Phelps and his followers picketed in front of the Broadway Baptist Church in Kansas City today. Broadway pastor Paul Smith wrote an opinion in the Kansas City Star about Phelps' anti-gay message. Phelps didn't like it. The message is that God loves everyone, including gays.
Deserves to be preached. I'm sorry these people are misled by this pastor here, but that's all the more reason why we have to insist upon it.
Christianity gets bad breath with people like Fred Phelps.
So, somebody needs to say, a Baptist preacher, needs to say the other side of that God loves us all and God accepts us all.
Phelps says they'll be back again to picket at that church. I don't think you'll hear any protest about tomorrow's forecast. Dave Dusick has that in just a little bit. Next, learn something new about our area in our regional report. We'll take you to one county's biggest private employer. Stay with us. Well, the controversy over cheap foreign labor versus higher-priced American-made products has been going on for years now. A Plattsburgh, Missouri company is putting the old argument to shame. In tonight's regional report, News Channel 4's Kelly Waldo shows us a company making a product cheaper than foreign competitors can.
Hear that? That's the sound of money being made and saved at the same time. For the last 5 years, Mid-America Enterprises has been putting together these pumpkin carving kits for a company out of Denver. That's because the manufacturer couldn't get a good price or prompt delivery on overseas packaging. Since they moved the operation to Plattsburgh, that's changed.
They have managed to lower their retail price to a third of what it was having it made offshore. And it's made the product highly successful.
And it's made a lot of money for Trailer in the process.
This Halloween, when you head to Walmart or Kmart for your pumpkin carving kit, this is the one you need. It's made in the USA and assembled right here in Plattsburgh, over 1 million of them.
The pumpkin kits are just a small part of Trailer's business. 27 years ago, he started making picture frames in his basement in Liberty.
I moved out of there into a warehouse in Liberty, and then in 1973, I bought an old school out west of town here and moved to Plattsburgh. And it was one of the best things I've ever done.
Mid-America Frames puts out about 10,000 frames a week, the kind you see at Ben Franklin, Michaels, or Lee Ward's. They're now the largest private employer in Clinton County.
We probably got about $750,000 in payroll. And most of the people live in the area within about 10 miles. So the people shop here, spend money here. So it's been real good.
Real good for a lot of people. So when it comes to picture frames and carving kits, buy American. Better yet, buy Missourian. Kelly Waldo, News Channel 4.
Mid-America also produces a watermelon carving kit and a microwave spatter screen. They recently bought more land in Plattsburgh to make room for even more expansion. Well, Dave Dusick has a pretty nice forecast for Monday coming up next. First, for your information, check out the biggest hits at the box office this weekend. Well, if you're the kind of person that likes the good news before the bad, then this forecast says you'll like it.
That's the way it's laid out tonight.
And some bad.
Yeah. Well, there's more rain coming.
That's very bad.
Yes, it is. Rain has become a bad word this summer in Kansas City. But I tell you what, we put together some pretty nice days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday was nice, and we had the rain come in this morning. But check what I've got for you on the graphics right now. This is definitely a rare occurrence. Summer night in Kansas City that you can see the stars, and there is no threat of thunderstorms overnight. So it'll be nice and peaceful and quiet with the stars shining. 79 degrees is what we have right now with clear skies. No wind to speak of, 79% humidity, 0.3 of an inch of rain in the gauge. 85 today's high temperature, that's below normal, and yesterday's high was 93, so we lopped off several degrees there with that rain cool air we had this morning. It's 89 still in Dallas, now 3 weeks and 2 days without any rain down there. Just about the same situation at Little Rock, 88. Des Moines flooded out, 75 degrees. Here we are, 77 in Kansas City. Chicago got in the action tonight with severe thunderstorms in that vicinity, and you'll be able to see that blow up on the radar. First of all, we go all the way back to the beginning of the weekend. Thunderstorms dumped tremendous amounts of rain in the Dakotas. And then last night, look at this big storm that flooded out Manhattan and died as it reached Kansas City. We only got about a ½ inch in Johnson County for the heaviest amounts. And tonight, you see these heavy thunderstorms that have moved to the southeast of Chicago. What's catching my eye right now is we are seeing some thunderstorms in southeast Kansas, but I think that'll stay away from the Kansas City area. We might pick up a few clouds from that, but certainly a quiet night. Tomorrow night, another story, because we still have the same weather system plaguing us, that's been bringing all the rain, hanging around our part of the country. Tonight, you can see the thunderstorms up over Indiana, Ohio, a few in the southeast, and just a smattering of showers across Kansas, which should be dying out overnight. Nothing to show you on our Doppler for radar. Overnight low temperature, 68 away from the city, 70 downtown. So cooling down a little bit as we have a front nudging through the area. Tomorrow's winds will be light, but basically out of the east to northeast. And I think we should see partly sunny skies. No rain during the day. Problem is this front comes back to the north as a warm front tomorrow night, and it has the same kind of action associated with it. Showers and thunderstorms, so you'll see that back in the forecast for tomorrow night into Tuesday. High tomorrow, not exceptionally hot, in the 80s for Kansas City. The forecast for tonight, clear skies to begin. We'll pick up some clouds very late tonight, 70 degrees with light winds, but a quiet night ahead. And a partly sunny day through the day. I do not expect any rain during the workday tomorrow with light winds, 88 by 5 p.m. Tuesday, the rain comes back. As a matter of fact, it could begin late Monday night and then continue on into several periods of Tuesday, and then you see another possibility Wednesday. Hopefully by Thursday morning the weather pattern will change, and I think that it might by the end of the week, and 93 by Friday.
We are pretty lucky. I mean, our neighbors to the north, Iowa and Nebraska, and like 2/3 of Kansas got hit with a lot of rain.
Yes, last night.
So we're very lucky.
We had the terrible winter, followed by way too much rain this summer.
Make it a complete 1993, a year to remember. Thanks a lot.
It's going to be a great fall, though, right?
That's right, a tremendous fall.
Whole lot of
River
football.
Falls.
You bet. Chiefs camp. We're going to go live to River Falls, Wisconsin, where there was a whole lot of head knocking going on up there today. Stay with us. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very hard-hitting edition of the Kansas City Sports Machine. The Chiefs hit the practice field and then proceeded to hit one another this afternoon in River Falls, the first day of full contact. Sports Director Frank Bowl joins us live now from the campus of the University of Wisconsin River Falls. Frank, how'd all the head knocking go today?
Oh, a lot of head knocking up here today. I tell you, the worst thing in the world right now is the mosquitoes are bigger than some of the offensive linemen up here at camp. It's unbelievable. The famous, or the infamous, we should say, Wisconsin mosquitoes are out in full force. It's been a little warm, a little humid, grass a little wet, so you know they're out here in force. But it was hitting for the first time today. You know, the team, they really sort of look forward to this. Everything anticipates this first day hitting for that next season to really get the official start underway. They're out in full pads today, and they had their own little version of Demolition Derby.
Get up, get up, yeah. Yeah, sure. Get up. Okay, Jason, got a goal line here.
Everybody looks at me like I'm goofy anyway, so. But, you know, it kind of woke up some of the defenses, like the young guys. You know, they come, oh, hey, Dad, good job. You know, like, shut up, rookie, get away from me, man. Carry my pads. What the heck? I had fun, it's over, and it's time for dinner.
Sure, Dan said it right. It was time for dinner. Now I'm joined. You know, every time you come to these camps, there's a lot of new faces on the roster, a lot of people we really aren't that familiar with, so it's always good to be with a couple guys that everybody does recognize are Kansas City Chiefs fans. On my right, of course, tight end Jonathan Hayes. On my left, linebacker Dino Hackett. And Dino, let's start with you today. I know everybody, especially you, really anticipated this situation, especially after last year you went through the dizziness and the nausea and the whole thing with Meniere's syndrome. And now you were out there, you're hitting in the Oklahoma drill today, and things are back to normal for you.
Yeah, you know, with the year off, it was a big anticipation for me to get back and start hitting again. And the Oklahoma drill is kind of the welcome back to camp kind of thing. And we got in there, and it's kind of like riding a bicycle again. I felt good, felt comfortable out there hitting, and fortunately had no reoccurrence of the dizziness.
And I think that was a big thing for you. I think you wanted to get in there and really go full contact, go full speed to really test it yourself to see what the situation was?
Well, I need to feel right from the beginning, get my confidence back that nothing's going to reoccur, and I didn't think it would, but now that one's behind me, I really feel confidence about the hitting part of the game.
I heard you guys were really ragging the rookies last night, telling them how bad you're going to beat them up on the Oklahoma drill day. This is a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You know, it is the welcome to training camp, especially for the young guys. I'm sure they hear a lot about the Oklahoma drill, and they kind of lay up at night thinking about it, but it's really not that big of a deal. We all have fun, and it's a welcome back to training camp.
There's been a lot of anticipation about the offense, of course, with Joe and Marcus here, but, you know, defensively, this is a very, very solid football team. Yeah, I think it is. We've been solid in the past, and we've added some new people in here from, like David Witt and Whitmore. And, I think we can come together this year with the offense that we're going to have and really compete to win this championship, and that's what we're going to try to do. Okay, thanks a lot for coming out and enduring the mosquitoes night. But stay here for now. I want to go over to my right side here, the big guy, the tight end. Always good to see you, Jonathan Hayes, and a lot of fun for the offense today, although you guys always start out a little bit behind that defense, don't you, when training camp gets underway?
Yeah, but this year with our new offense and that, it gives us an opportunity to get the ball downfield and do some different things and give them some different looks that they haven't been used to. And it's been fun. Our offense is really fun for everyone. They really sprinkle the infield and get the ball to everyone, and it's nice for the tight ends because we're also featured in this offense, and it gives us an opportunity to catch the ball pretty quickly and then turn upfield and make some things happen. So it was a good day. It was a good start to a new season. You really have to be a happy guy. I know you're already recognized the best blocking tight end in the National Football League. You can really add your repertoire with this offense. They really do go to the tight end. I've seen you catch a ton of passes already up here in the preseason camp. Yeah, that's the great thing about this offense. Not one guy is the primary target. I mean, everyone has to stay alive. Everyone has to run their routes, and everyone has to stay focused on what's going on because you never know when Joe's going to shoot you the ball. And the great thing about this offense is, since we do move the ball around to everyone, you can't just focus on one player. You have to prepare for the whole entire offense. Yeah, I've seen them go to virtually everybody, and I mean just in the drills, the 7-on-7s, looks all across the field and can pick somebody out right away. Yeah, and that's going to be a benefit. Finally, we're going to get to maximize the talent we have on this team and do the things that are going to be important to win a championship. As you can hear, they're still hitting behind us here. The banging's so loud, it's just incredible. They have fireworks going off here to bring to a culmination the Riverfest weekend that they've had here all weekend, a tremendous weekend. Let's talk to both these guys a little bit about, I'm not sure if Marty has had sunstroke or something that's happened to him, but the practices, number one, have been going off on time, and number two, they seem a lot shorter than they have been in the past. I mean, what's going on with the head coach? I don't know. Maybe he has got sunstroke or something. But like Jonathan said earlier, we don't want to say anything to jinx anything right at this point. We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. That's right, Coach. They'll take all of this they can get if you're going to hear about this later, I'll guarantee you. But it has been fun, and I think the one guy that wants to know, I mean, we've heard a lot about Joe Montana. Okay, and there's a big billboard outside town that says, welcome Joe Montana, Kansas City Chiefs. Joe doesn't really want it that way. That's just the way it happens when you win 4 Super Bowls. And I know he's not the kind of guy that wants to garner all the headlines and do the whole thing. And I think you guys realize that, don't you? Yeah, but, and that's something the media creates. And no, we wouldn't do that, John. And the guy, he's a great team player. He's more concerned with what we're doing out on the field, and he's just one of the boys. He likes to go have a few beers with the boys and just relax. I mean, it's hard for him to do those things, but he tries to get out there just so he can make himself more accessible, so people will get used to seeing him out, so they don't feel like, oh, it's the only chance I have. I think that he brings a lot to this team. Marcus brings a lot to this team, but also we've had a good foundation here all to begin with, and now I think we're just growing, and it's just going to make this ball club that much better. Okay, Jonathan Hayes, thanks for battling mosquitoes. It's tougher than the Oklahoma drill day. Get out of here. Where's the Dino Hackett, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you guys later. Continued success with you, and stay healthy. Thanks. Okay, both of you. Thank you. All right, that's it. We're up here at the training camp at the University of Wisconsin River Falls. We'll be here all next week. We'll be here every day, as a matter of fact, as far as training camp's concerned, Keats. We'll have a crew here from beginning to end.
Frank, you've been up there 4 days, and I hear a lot. It sounds like everything's going really well. Does Marty Schottenheimer and his staff have any concerns at all right now? Is there anything they really want to get done, say, this week?
No, I really don't think so. They're getting the offense in, and defense, of course, they're solid on defense. They want to get this offense in, but everybody looks really comfortable, and everything just seems to be going according to pattern. Like we said, even the practices are getting off on time, and that's good news for these players.
Hey, that sounds great. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 6, Frank.
Okay, Keats, we'll see you then.
All right. Okay, we're just getting started on the Kansas City Sports Machine. Up next, the Royals try to ruin the Blue Jays' weekend by winning 3 of 4 at Sky Dome. I'll show you the dramatic finish next.